The quiet Pentagon bet that makes little sense right now could reveal a surprising shift in America's war strategy. America has just placed a $500 million bet on a missile born from one of its previous battlefield mistakes. Is the US in freak-out mode as the Pentagon rushes a $535 million missile deal following the Iran war? A 55-year-old missile and a $535 million bet. Why does America still need the TOW after all these decades? Why won't the US let this aging missile finally die? And what is the strange story behind its massive new $535 million bet? America is still spending heavily on a 55-year-old anti-tank missile despite the setbacks exposed by the Iran war. The US Army has awarded a massive $500 million contract for additional TOW weapon systems as demand rises. The TOW stands for Tube-Launched, Optically Tracked, Wire-Guided Missile, a system originally developed during the 1960s. The missile was reportedly used by American forces to destroy enemy tanks during the Vietnam War more than 5 decades ago. The latest contract is an extension, taking the total TOW anti-tank missile order to a staggering $750 million. The TOW remains one of the longest-serving anti-tank missile systems still operating within the US military arsenal. The operator tracks the target while wire guidance transmits steering commands throughout the missile's flight. The TOW can reportedly engage targets at distances of up to 4 kilometers, depending on the variant. The system is designed primarily as an anti-tank and anti-armor missile for engaging heavily protected targets. TOW systems have been integrated across more than 15,000 vehicles and helicopters worldwide. More than 700,000 TOW systems have reportedly been delivered since the weapon entered service. The missile is expected to remain part of the US arsenal well into 2050 and beyond, despite its age. TOW systems are currently deployed across more than 40 international armed forces, giving the weapon a remarkably wide global footprint. In January 2022, the US supplied TOW-2 anti-tank missiles to Ukraine for combat operations against Russian forces. Taiwan also reportedly requested 1,240 TOW-2 missile systems from America in 2019 as part of preparations for potential conflict with China. The anti-tank system can reportedly strike targets at ranges of up to 4 kilometers, providing a significant standoff capability against armored threats. And it is not just missiles. The US Department of War is also committing roughly $500 million toward expanding its drone warfare capabilities. The US Army is set to spend a whopping $500 million on advanced anti-drone laser systems to counter growing UAV threats. The new anti-drone systems will reportedly be sourced from AeroVironment Incorporated under the Pentagon's latest agreement. The agreement could deliver dozens of Locust laser systems to the US Army as Washington expands its counter-drone arsenal. The Locust uses AI technology to detect, track and identify incoming drones before engaging them with high-energy laser beams. The deal would reportedly mark the Pentagon's first production contract for a dedicated directed energy counter-drone system. The laser weapon is designed to destroy small and medium-sized drones using concentrated high-energy beams instead of conventional missiles. The move aims to provide a cheaper way to defeat drone threats without rapidly burning through America's expensive missile stockpiles. The Pentagon is also pushing to expand US offensive drone production and capabilities as modern warfare increasingly revolves around unmanned systems. This comes as fresh fissures reportedly emerge within the Trump administration over concerns surrounding America's rapidly depleting munitions stockpiles. U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly confronted Defense to War Pete Hegseth over growing concerns about America's military readiness during high-level national security discussions. According to the Washington Post, Trump reportedly clashed with Pete Hegseth after being briefed on shrinking U.S. munitions stockpiles following months of military operations. The reported confrontation took place during a high-level meeting at Camp David on July 31st, where senior officials were discussing strategy for the Iran conflict. Trump was reportedly left frustrated after learning that key U.S. missile inventories were significantly lower than he had previously been led to believe. Sources claimed Trump had earlier been assured that the munitions issue had been resolved, but he reportedly believed he had been given a misleading assessment. The report said Trump demanded to know why he had received what he viewed as an inaccurate picture of America's military readiness and available weapons. The United States is reportedly facing shortages of several long-range guided missiles, as well as critical air defense interceptor systems needed for future operations. THAAD interceptor missiles, which play a vital role in defending U.S. bases against ballistic missile threats, are reportedly in critically short supply after recent operations. The reported shortages have become an increasingly important constraint on U.S. military planning as Iran continues to demonstrate its retaliatory missile capabilities. Amid a mounting munitions crisis, America is also pushing defense companies to accelerate weapons production and replenish critical stockpiles faster. Amid reports of depleted precision missile and interceptor stocks, the Pentagon is pushing the defense industry to boost production and shorten the time it takes to deliver critical weapons. Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell confirmed that the department is focused on speeding up munitions acquisitions to provide warfighters with the weapons they need at the pace current threats demand. Deputy Defense Secretary Steve Feinberg has given major defense firms no more than 21 days to submit plans for faster delivery schedules and increased production of critical military capabilities. Feinberg said that years-long development cycles are no longer acceptable, arguing that the Pentagon must dramatically accelerate program timelines and expand U.S. production capacity immediately. Reuters reported that the U.S. Army has used much of its worldwide stockpile of highly accurate long-range surface-to-surface missiles during the 5-month Iran war, including ATACMS and precision strike missiles. U.S. analysts have warned that shrinking stocks of advanced air defense interceptors could place American troops and overseas bases at greater risk if another major conflict erupts before replenishment is complete. President Trump has pushed back strongly against reports of a U.S. munitions shortage, arguing that the reports do not reflect the full scale of America's military resources or industrial capacity. Trump said the United States has massive amounts of munitions and added that large quantities are being manufactured and sent to the military as required. Despite Trump's assurances, the Pentagon says Feinberg's emergency-style production push will help shape the fiscal 2028 defense budget request and its longer-term industrial base strategy. The Pentagon's wider defense spending legislation remains stalled in Congress, where lawmakers have clashed over the Iran war powers concerns, and the scale of future military spending. The White House has proposed raising Pentagon spending to a record $1.5 trillion for fiscal 2027, including major investments in ships, aircraft, missile defense, and munitions production. Senior Iranian cleric Abdulnabi Musaffar said Tehran was preparing to increase the range of its missiles to 15,000 kilometers, although he offered no operational details or evidence that such a weapon already exists. Speaking on August 7, Musaffar said the extended missile range would enable Iran to strike the United States, using the claim to warn Washington that it could face direct consequences of future escalation. Musaffar added that Iran's existing missile force could already reach Israel, which he described as roughly 2,000 kilometers away, highlighting Tehran's established regional strike capability before claiming a future intercontinental reach. Musaffar said, and I quote, "We are preparing ourselves so that the American people, too, will see what it is like to be hit by missiles, and understand what it means to be left in blood and destruction." End quote. Musaffar also said he hoped Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu would be destroyed by Iranian forces, reinforcing the highly confrontational tone of his remarks toward both Israel and the United States. The cleric's statement came as Iran and Oman said they had reached an understanding on coordinates for a shipping route through the Strait of Hormuz, with a joint announcement reportedly in the final drafting stage. The comments also surfaced amid reports that the U.S. had used nearly 80% of its pre-war THAAD interceptor stock, but that figure remains contested by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and should not be treated as confirmed fact. The U.S. military used nearly 80% of its THAAD interceptor stockpile during the Iran conflict, according to a CNN report. Reports also say the United States has expended roughly half of its Patriot missile inventory since the conflict with Iran began. Senior U.S. military commanders are reportedly warning that stockpiles of several key precision munitions have reached dangerously low levels. The THAAD air defense system plays a critical role in intercepting ballistic missiles at high altitudes and protecting strategic military assets. Patriot air defense systems have also been used extensively to intercept Iranian ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drone attacks throughout the conflict.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.